Just when fans thought they'd heard it all from Joyce Meyer, the 80-year-old televangelist stunned her followers with an unexpected announcement that's sending shockwaves through faith-based circles and beyond. Known for her no-nonsense sermons and multi-million-dollar ministry empire, Meyer didn't just drop a message. She dropped a bombshell. Whether you've followed her for decades or just know her as the woman with the golden microphone, this latest twist has everyone asking, what's really going on behind the scenes? Before we get to the announcement that's got everyone talking, let's rewind for just a second. Because whether you're a lifelong believer or a Sunday scroller who stumbled across her clips on Instagram, understanding who Joyce Meyer is adds serious weight to what she just revealed. With a career that spans over 4 decades, Joyce isn't just another televangelist. She's arguably the queen of Christian media. Her sermons have been broadcast in over 100 countries, her books have sold more than 25 million copies, and her name is practically synonymous with the prosperity gospel movement. But Joyce isn't just a preacher, she's a brand. With her sharp suits, blunt delivery, and unshakable confidence, she's built a faith empire from the ground up. She's gone from a small Bible study in St. Louis to filling arenas and commanding airwaves, all while being unapologetically herself. Whether she's speaking on trauma, transformation, or tithing, her voice has become a trusted, and sometimes controversial, source for millions of followers who tune in not just for spiritual guidance, but for motivation, direction, and hope. And yet, behind the perfectly coordinated outfits and polished stage presence, there's always been something enigmatic about Joyce. She doesn't reveal much about her private life, but every time she does pull back the curtain, like in her brutally honest memoirs or candid interviews, it sends ripples through her community. That's why, when this announcement dropped, it didn't just land like another update, it landed like a statement. One that's left fans reeling, critics speculating, and insiders whispering. Is this the beginning of the end, or the start of something we never saw coming? So, what exactly did Joyce Meyer say that has her followers doing double takes and her critics raising eyebrows? In a move that no one, and I mean no one, saw coming, Joyce took to the stage during a live-streamed ministry event last Sunday and dropped a truth bomb that stunned even her most loyal supporters. With the spotlight glowing just a little softer than usual and her tone more solemn than fiery, she looked directly into the camera and said, "There comes a time in every person's life when God calls you into a new season. For me, that time is now." For a woman who's spent decades preaching consistency, obedience, and staying the course through storms, those words didn't just sound reflective, they sounded like closure. But she didn't stop there. In a moment that had the live chat flooding with wide-eye emojis and wait what comments, Joyce went on to say she would be stepping back from her regular broadcasting duties, something she's never even hinted at before. This is not goodbye, she clarified, but it is a shift, a significant one. And just like that, an entire generation of viewers who've spent Sunday mornings with Joyce Meyer suddenly found themselves staring down a future that no longer included their go-to spiritual voice. Even her delivery was different. Gone was the ironclad certainty that's made her famous. Instead, she sounded emotional, measured, maybe even a little tired. Some viewers claimed they saw tears welling up. Others swore she looked relieved. One Twitter user wrote, "I never thought I'd see the day. Joyce Meyer retiring? Rebranding? What is going on?" Adding to the mystery was what she didn't say. There was no specific mention of health issues, scandals, or a formal retirement plan, just the repeated phrase, "a new season." It was as if she was deliberately leaving space for interpretation, for speculation, and oh, did the speculation begin. Was she handing the ministry off to someone in her inner circle? Could this be tied to the whispers about internal power struggles within her organization? Or is this, as some are now theorizing, Joyce laying the groundwork for a complete departure from public life? To make matters even more cryptic, Meyer ended the segment with a promise that more will be revealed in the coming weeks, followed by a soft smile and a quiet, "Trust me, it's going to surprise you." Just vague enough to light the internet on fire. Within minutes, clips of the announcement began circulating across social platforms. TikTok users dissected her phrasing, body language, and wardrobe. Yes, Someone even zoomed in on her choice of jewelry, speculating that the switch from her usual bold pieces to a simple cross necklace was symbolic. Facebook groups dedicated to Christian women's leadership were flooded with posts titled things like, "Is Joyce leaving us?" and "What season is she talking about?" And over on Reddit, a thread in the Faith Leaders Unfiltered community quickly climbed to the top, with users debating whether this could be a prelude to a tell-all book, a Netflix docuseries, or, believe it or not, a political run. Whatever this is, it's not business as usual. Because Joyce Meyer doesn't do subtle. She doesn't do ambiguity. And when she says a shift is coming, the only thing anyone knows for sure is that the next chapter is going to be one for the headlines. The announcement hadn't even finished streaming before social media exploded. Within seconds, the chat on Joyce Meyer's official live stream was flooded. Prayer hands, shocked emojis, frantic typing in all caps. "Is this a joke?" one viewer asked. Another wrote, "She's not retiring, right? She can't be." And as the final words echoed, "It's going to surprise you." A strange, collective silence fell over her massive fanbase. It didn't last long. By the end of the day, hashtag Joyce Meyer was trending on Twitter, flanked by hashtags like hashtag new season and hashtag stepping down. It was as if the Christian internet had been jolted awake. Pastors, influencers, and former ministry insiders rushed to weigh in. Some praised her vulnerability, saying it was a graceful evolution for a woman who's carried the spiritual weight of millions for decades. Others weren't so sure. A few former fans voiced suspicion. "Feels like something else is going on," one popular Christian TikToker said in a now viral video. Joyce doesn't just change course without a bigger reason. Health, money, internal conflict. Speculation was rampant, especially as more people revisited recent sermons, digging for clues. Had she been dropping hints all along? Was that off-script comment about burnout 3 weeks ago more telling than we realized? Inside private Facebook groups and online forums, longtime followers broke into emotional factions. In one thread titled "Joyce Can't Quit," dozens of commenters poured out messages of heartbreak, confusion, and denial. "I've been watching her since I was 15. I don't know what I'll do without her on every morning," one user posted, followed by a string of crying face emojis. Another woman wrote, "She helped me through my divorce. I feel like my spiritual mother just ghosted me." But the division didn't stop at sorrow. A growing number of fans are angry. Some feel blindsided, accusing Meyer of being vague, evasive, and strategic rather than transparent. One YouTube commentator didn't hold back, declaring, "This isn't a new season, it's damage control." That theory hinges on long-standing rumors that have swirled around Meyer's ministry finances and her sometimes frosty relationship with leadership staff. "She's stepping back before the storm hits." Another post read, "Classic playbook." Meanwhile, outside the faithful fold, secular media outlets began circling. TMZ mentioned her in a segment titled "Power Preachers Under Pressure," lumping her into a broader conversation about celebrity pastors stepping away amid controversy. The Daily Mail ran a splashy headline implying Meyer might be prepping a strategic retirement to protect her legacy. And over on Reddit, the conspiracy machine kicked into full gear. One popular theory? That Meyer is working on a rebranding effort, possibly distancing herself from the prosperity gospel label to regain cultural relevance with younger Christians. Interestingly, not all the fallout was negative. A surprising wave of Gen Z Christian creators began defending Meyer, saying the announcement felt wise, not weak. In an era where burnout, boundaries, and mental health are front and center, some younger fans are applauding what they see as a leader finally drawing a line for herself. "If even Joyce Meyer needs rest," one TikTok caption read, "then maybe we all do." Still, one thing's crystal clear. No matter which side of the reaction spectrum fans fall on, shocked, inspired, betrayed, or bewildered, no one is looking away. Her name is in headlines, her clips are going viral, and her absence is already echoing louder than most leaders' presence. And the biggest twist? Her inner circle has stayed completely silent. No official follow-up statements. No press releases. No hints from her daughter Sandra or longtime ministry co-leaders. Just a gaping pause where answers should be, and it's only making the curiosity and the suspicion grow louder by the hour. So now that the dust is beginning to settle, just barely, the big question looming over everyone is, what does this actually mean? Because when someone like Joyce Meyer, a figure who has been the bedrock of televised ministry for over 4 decades, steps back even slightly, the ripple effects aren't just spiritual, they're systemic. First, let's talk about the brand. Joyce Meyer Ministries isn't just a personal platform, it's a massive media machine. We're talking about over 400 employees, global outreach operations, publishing contracts, a daily broadcast airing in 100+ countries, and a long-standing partnership with Christian TV networks. A move like this could trigger serious restructuring. Insiders are already whispering about leadership transitions, possible budget freezes, and a strategic media slowdown. Could we be seeing the beginning of a soft succession plan? And if so, who's stepping into her shoes? There's speculation that her daughter, Sandra McCollum, who quietly launched her own ministry years ago, might be positioned to take the reins, but so far, no confirmation. If true, that would represent a generational shift that could redefine the entire brand's tone and reach. Then there's the content strategy. Joyce's teachings are pre-recorded months in advance, which means we may still see new episodes air long after she's stopped filming. But without her at the helm, what happens to the topics she chooses, the tone she sets, and the connection she maintains with her viewers? Will the show keep her name, but shift its focus? Or will we see a total rebranding effort in the coming months, something more aligned with digital-first audiences and influencer-style Christianity? And then there's the money. Joyce Meyer Ministries has brought in tens of millions annually, much of it through donations, conferences, and media products. A major change in her visibility could directly impact revenue streams, partnerships, and speaking engagements. Sponsors may grow hesitant. Conferences could see dips in ticket sales, and the publishing arm might face an awkward pause while fans wait to see whether a new book will finally explain what this new season really is. Add to that the looming possibility of an exclusive interview, memoir, or docuseries, and suddenly, the future looks not just uncertain, but highly monetizable. But let's go deeper. Because under the surface, some believe this move may not be about retirement at all, but about reinvention. Joyce has always had an uncanny ability to read the cultural room, and she knows as well as anyone that the Christian media world is shifting. The old guard of suits, stages, and stadiums is giving way to influencers in sweatshirts, TikTok preachers, and Instagram-ready sermons. Could this be her strategic pivot? An intentional retreat before launching something entirely new and disruptive? A podcast? A Netflix-style streaming platform for faith-based content? A partnership with one of the new wave churches like Elevation or Transformation Church? Others wonder if legal or organizational issues are quietly brewing behind the scenes. While there's been no public scandal linked to Joyce herself, her ministry has faced criticism in the past, particularly around financial transparency and prosperity gospel messaging. Could this new season be an effort to protect her legacy before any real fallout occurs? If she exits now, on her own terms, she controls the narrative. But if she stays and something cracks, that legacy could become a cautionary tale instead of a celebrated one. And spiritually? For her followers, this moment feels like a leadership vacuum. Joyce has long been the go-to voice for women navigating pain, trauma, and spiritual growth. She gave permission to be messy, angry, bold, and still faithful. Without her steady presence, many fans are asking who they can trust next. And in a fragmented, increasingly performative faith landscape, that question has no clear answer. One thing's for sure, this isn't just a passing announcement. It's a turning point for her ministry, for her millions of viewers, and for the broader world of faith-based media. Whether she's stepping back, stepping down, or stepping into something entirely new, Joyce Meyer's decision is setting the stage for a shakeup that could redefine the future of Christian influence in America and far beyond. Joyce Meyer's announcement didn't come out of nowhere. It just felt like it did. Because now that the shock is starting to wear off, fans and skeptics alike are going back, combing through the past few months or even years for signs they may have missed. And what they're finding is starting to look a lot like a trail of breadcrumbs. Let's start with the sermons. Longtime viewers are pointing to subtle tonal shifts that began creeping into Joyce's messages as early as late 2023. Gone were the classic themes of empowerment and spiritual boldness, replaced by introspection, weariness, and what some called a softening. In one now viral clip from a March sermon titled, "When It's Time to Let Go," Joyce says, "Sometimes God asks us to lay down something we love, not because it's bad, but because He's ready to do something new." At the time, it felt like general wisdom. Now, it feels almost confessional. Then there's the interview she gave back in January, one that barely made headlines at the time, but now reads like a buried lead. When asked by a Christian podcast host how she manages her emotional health after decades in the spotlight, Joyce paused and said, "Honestly, I'm still figuring it out. There are days when I think, Lord, do I have anything left to say?" It was an uncharacteristic moment of vulnerability from a woman known for commanding the stage with unshakable conviction. And now, fans are realizing it might have been the first crack in the foundation. But it's not just about what she said, it's also what she didn't do. In the past year, Meyer noticeably pulled back from major conferences and international tours. She canceled 2 annual events with little explanation, citing schedule changes, and skipped a major leadership summit that she'd headlined for over a decade. Her social media team, usually clockwork consistent, went quiet for nearly 2 weeks in February, prompting brief but intense speculation about health issues or internal ministry drama. And then there's the wardrobe theory. Yes, seriously. Devoted fans and a few conspiracy-minded Reddit sleuths have pointed out that Joyce's recent on-camera looks have taken a surprisingly muted turn. Gone are the signature bold blazers and power earrings, replaced by understated tones, softer silhouettes, and delicate gold jewelry. While this could easily be dismissed as a simple style evolution, some believe it's symbolic. One viral post read, "Joyce's outer transformation is matching her inner shift. She's stepping back slowly, but intentionally. Watch her clothes. She's telling us more than we realize." Dramatic? Sure. But in the world of parasocial fandoms and televangelist iconography, appearances matter. A lot. And what about the ministry itself? Several insiders, speaking anonymously to Christian watchdog blogs, have hinted at a quiet tension brewing within Joyce Meyer Ministries for over a year. Some allege growing disagreements over succession plans and the future direction of the organization. Others claim there's been a push from within to modernize the brand and appeal to younger audiences, while Joyce has reportedly resisted any major digital overhaul. Could this new season be a strategic compromise? A way for Joyce to bow out gracefully while allowing her ministry to evolve without direct conflict? Some even believe the announcement may be a preemptive move ahead of a larger, more controversial reveal, one that's yet to surface publicly. A financial audit? A publishing contract dispute? A power shuffle behind closed doors? No one knows for sure, but the timing is interesting, especially when paired with whispers about an upcoming high-profile Christian docuseries being pitched to streaming platforms, one that allegedly includes segments on the rise and reckoning of televangelist empires. It's also worth noting that Joyce's announcement comes just months after other major religious leaders like Charles Stanley's son, Andy, and even Beth Moore made high-profile pivots away from traditional ministry models. Some are calling it the end of an era, the last breath of the old-school televangelist dynasty. But others think Joyce, always one step ahead, may be clearing space to build something newer, quieter, and even more powerful. Whatever the real story is, one thing is clear. Joyce Meyer's announcement wasn't just a personal revelation. It was the final puzzle piece in a picture that's been forming for much longer than anyone realized. And now that we're looking back with fresh eyes, we're seeing things differently. The speeches, the silences, the subtle shifts in tone. They weren't random. They were intentional, calculated, maybe even prophetic. Because when Joyce Meyer says she's entering a new season, she's not just changing lanes, she's rewriting the map. And it's no longer a question of if something big is coming. It's just a matter of when. Because Joyce Meyer's announcement didn't come with a roadmap, It came with a riddle, one that's left millions of viewers leaning in, hearts pounding, minds racing, and inboxes flooded with push alerts that say a whole lot of nothing yet. For someone who's made a career out of giving people answers, Joyce just left us with questions. Big ones. And if there's anything we've learned in this 24-hour news cycle of faith, fame, and carefully controlled platforms, it's that when someone with this much power goes quiet, something bigger is always brewing. Will Joyce come back in a new form, stronger and savvier than ever? A spiritual matriarch reshaping the Christian media space from behind the scenes? Or is this truly the end of an era? A slow, bittersweet fade into legacy while the empire she built tries to stand without her? Fans are split. Insiders are tight-lipped. And Joyce herself? Well, aside from that cryptic, "Trust me, it's going to surprise you," she's gone radio silent. But here's what we know. Joyce Meyer has never made a move without purpose. She's a strategist, a survivor, a woman who turned childhood trauma into a global platform and refused to be boxed in by age, gender, or denomination. If she's stepping back, it's not because she's run out of things to say. It's because she knows exactly when to say less and let the world fill in the blanks. So, what comes next? A bombshell memoir? A shocking handoff? A quiet retreat from the spotlight? Or an even louder return with a message that flips the narrative one more time? Whatever it is, you won't want to miss it. Because this story isn't over. It's just beginning.